Hollywood legend Paul Newman is back on the big screen in a new film called Message in a Bottle. It's the story of a woman who discovers a love letter in a bottle that's been washed ashore. She goes searching for the man who wrote it and finds Garrett Blake, a widower unable to let go of his past. Paul Newman plays Garrett's father.
2 beers a day. That's my limit.
Change the subject?
Yes. The subject is change. People change. Even you. That is the subject. Good dinner. You were the best thing about it. You know, if I was about 150 years younger, you'd be in trouble, young lady.
Paul Newman, Mr. Newman, welcome to Today. Good to have you here.
Paul is okay.
Well, you know, there are some people I feel that deserve the Mr., and you certainly are on that list. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
I read a lot about you, and I always read that you enjoy making movies less and less, which would lead me to believe that there's got to be something kind of special about the projects you decide to tackle. What was it about this movie?
Well, I don't know. It's a very old-fashioned movie. It's about love and affection and all those sentimental things that we don't, you know, it's not the Jerry Springer show.
Thank goodness.
And I just found the character salty, and also I kind of like the idea of not really having to carry, you know, a film.
Yeah, it is a smaller role, but not an unimportant role in the turn of events, certainly. Tell me about Dodge. You called him salty. Gruff?
Well, in the final analysis, the picture is really about devotion, and devotion to the past, and devotion to the future, and he's not above being devoted to his son, but it's salty and it's noisy and affectionate.
You say it's about devotion. Is it also about wanting something slightly better for the son than the father has seen himself?
Well, that too, but I don't think that's the major aspect of it. It's whether you live in the past or you live in tomorrow, in the moment.
We mentioned that this woman, Teresa, finds this message in the bottle. She happens to work for a newspaper and goes off to find Garrett. He goes to visit her in Chicago, and you're there seeing him off. Let's take a look at that scene from Message in a Bottle.
Take your pills. By my count, there should still be 2 beers left in the fridge when I get back.
That's a sorry occupation, counting other people's beers.
And if you get Kenny or any of these tourist kids to score you beer, I'm going to hear about it. I got 2 counties covered.
That lady sure got you hooked.
How'd you get to be so mean?
I've heard Kevin Costner say some pretty nice things about you, including going as far as to say that you were his acting idol. What was it like working with him?
Good. In fact, everybody, Robin was marvelous. The thing is, you know, they're so responsive. They're kind of like litmus paper. You bounce off of people. They're professional. There's nothing prima donna-ish about either one of them, and it was fun. Everybody's punctual. Everybody knows what they're doing.
Have you gotten to the point in your career where you just assume not act, as opposed to act in something that doesn't please you thoroughly?
Yes.
So how often do you find those situations that can possibly please you thoroughly?
Well, I don't know. I think I'm getting to that point where I'll probably want to try to do one more picture, and then get out and take care of the spiritual end of my life.
That can't be an easy decision, though. I mean, you know, we talked to professional athletes. Muhammad Ali was in here a couple of weeks ago, and although I remember him in his glory, I also remember him at the end of his career, and he had a tough time saying goodbye. You think you're going to find it easy a year or so after you've acted to stay away?
Well, it's going to be pretty easy for me, you know. The brain cavity here is nothing but foam now. Listen, I've been at it long enough, and I just would like to try to do other things.
Like what?
Well, examine certain aspects of the spiritual world. I mean, I don't mean God, but the world of the spirit. And what is that great line? The last thing that a man wants to do is the last thing he does. Get ready for that.
Has the business changed to a point where it's not as attractive anymore? Do you recognize the business that you once...
When I started films, it was very much like when I started racing, you know. There's a great sense of camaraderie, and yeah, things are important, but the friendship and the fun of it and the larceny of it was somehow terribly important. And now I get the sense that people are shooting schedules and budgets and release dates, and the fourth and last thing that they're shooting is the picture. And that's disturbing, and I wonder whether films really aspire to examine the human condition very much anymore. They're hard to get off the ground.
Paul Newman, it's always great to see you. Come back and maybe we'll get on the track together one day.
I'll be there.
I think I'd rather be behind you than in front of you, though. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
We're back in a moment. This is Today on NBC.